Good morning, boys and girls. Today, I would like to do a salt water experiment with you. And that means that we are going to do this together. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do before you start this experiment with me is that you have to print out the PDF file that says Be a Scientist Saltwater Experiment. So print that out first and then you can start with me. If you don't have a printer, I want you to draw two cups. One cup has to say tap water. So you draw one cup and it has to say tap water on it. And then the other cup, it has to say salt water. Okay? So, the reason why I want to do this experiment is because we are learning about the ocean. And the ocean is a big body of water that surrounds the earth. It's all over the earth. And ocean water is very salty water. And tap water has no salt in it. Okay? So ocean water, you cannot drink it because there's salt in it. Tap water, you can because it's clean and it goes through a special process that helps the water to be nice and clean for us to drink. Okay? But salt water, it's very salty. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little experiment of sink or float. So, there are three things that I want to try and see if those things sink or float in each of this cup of water. Okay? So, first, make sure you have that piece of paper with you. Like again, if you don't have a printer, draw it out. If you do have a printer, print it out, and then you are ready to start with me. So, we're going to have three things that we're going to look at to see if they sink or float in either of the water. Okay? So, I have three items. I think you could see it. I have one egg that we're going to try to see if it sinks in one of them or it floats in the other one. We don't know. I've got a blueberry that I'd like to try and see if it's going to sink in one or float in the other one. And I also have a thing called a chestnut. I want to see if it's going to sink or if it's going to float in these glasses that we have. Okay, so let's try. Let's try first with the blueberry. Blueberry. Now I want you to guess. What do you think is going to happen? First, I'm going to put it in the tap water. Do you think it's going to sink or if it's going to float? So let's see. Okay, the blueberry in the water, in tap water, it sank. Okay, that means it went to the bottom. It sank. So let's take that out. Now we're going to try it in the salt water. What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to sink or is it going to float? Let's just check. Oh boy, look what happened there, boys and girls. The blueberry didn't sink. The blueberry floated in the salt water. Okay, let's take that out. So the blueberry sank in tap water. The blueberry floated in salt water. Okay, well, you're probably thinking, well, that's really light. It's not heavy like the egg. You're right. So I got a very small item. Okay, it's the smallest item that we have. Then we've got a chestnut. It's smaller than the egg, but bigger than the blueberry. Okay, so let's check. So I got something very small, I got something medium, and then the egg is very large. Let's try the chestnut now. It's medium. Okay, so it's bigger than the blueberry. So let's check. Is it going to sink or float in tap water? Let's find out. And it sunk to the bottom again, boys and girls. So the chestnut sank to the bottom of our cup that says tap water. Now let's see if it's going to float or sink in salt water. Take a guess. Whoa, look at that, boys and girls. It did not sink. Did you see that? I'll try that again. Watch. Oops. And it floated. So the chestnut sank to the bottom in tap water. The chestnut floated to the top in salt water. Okay? The next one, the next experiment, or the next item that we're going to try is an egg. So it's way bigger than the blueberry, way bigger than the chestnut. What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to sink in tap water or is it going to float? Okay, let's try. I don't want to break it. I'm going to put it nice and gently. Here we go. Ooh. The egg sank in the tap water. Okay, let's take that out. It went all the way to the bottom. Interesting. Okay, same egg. You saw me take it out. Now I'm going to try it in the salt water. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, what happened? Oh my, it floated. It didn't sink in salt water. It floated in salt water. That is very interesting. Let's try that again. Look at that. It's bigger than the blueberry. It's bigger than the chestnut. And yet it floated in salt water. Now let's put this in the tap water again to make sure. Okay, I'm going to be very gentle. Here we go. Oh, it sank. Interesting. Okay, boys and girls. So make your observation. Okay, draw me the picture. Okay, and I want to just let you know that the reason why that things float in salt water is because the water or the salt in the water makes the water more dense. That's a science word, dense. Dense just means that it's thicker, okay? So the salt makes the water thick and it allows it for things to float. Just like people, if you ever swim at the beach, and it's a saltwater beach, like the ocean beach, when you go swimming in it, you have the ability to float. Of course, you can sink, but it's a lot easier to swim, and you tend to float in salt water. It's easier to float in salt water. Okay, so I hope you had fun with that experiment. If you want to try this at home, you need 6 tablespoons of salt in 1 cup of water. Okay, yeah, I hope you really liked it. I liked it, and we will connect soon. Show me what you drew, and we will connect soon. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you had fun. I had fun. We'll talk soon. Bye bye for now.